And then I look at things like this, and I'm like, whoa. So you see that the Nasdaq number of consecutive days above 20-day moving average, and we just hit the 63rd consecutive day above its 20-day moving average, which is the longest streak since the dot-com bubble. Euphoria, are we about to hit a wall? Are the markets about to crash? And then I say to you, when was the last time that we were this oversold? You said the dot-com bubble. What's the thing about bubbles? Bubbles really go. They really move. When you're in the sweet spot of the bubble, you don't want to be looking for it to pop. You want to be riding that thing. You know, case in point, let's go to Bitcoin 2017. It's a good area to look at. And 2017, and look, as we came from, $850 on Bitcoin was a big number. Why do I say that? Well, we just spent what felt like an eternity down around 250. And then all of a sudden, in like, boom, Bitcoin trading at 850. Ooh, that's a big level. If that breaks out, it's going to go. And then it does go. And it goes over 1,000. Over 1,000. And then it goes to 3,000. And do you know how many people? I know people. Do you know how many people took profits at 3,000? And they were like, yo, I just made bank. Yeah, I just made bang quick, and then Bitcoin is at what? 5,000? Raul selling. Raul's, I come from TradeFi. That type of gains don't happen. I'm out. Bitcoin, the bubble was just getting going. And you saw it go all the way towards $19,000. Similar situation when we called the breakout here on CTM of the following bull market. And again, one of the things about that was in July of 2020, we called the bull market breakout. And then, man, nothing easy about it. Price comes in for the retest. You don't know if it's going to fail or not. It wound up being able to resume out of it. And when it did resume out of it, and you saw Bitcoin go from $10,000 to $40,000, I was like, listen, I know that's a big gain very quickly. Do not sell. This thing is just getting started. Price moves towards $19,000. I said, okay, we can have a pullback. Let's look if we have a 30% pullback. Price pulls back 15%, and then all of a sudden fades it. And I'm like, whoa, risk is to the upside. And then you saw Bitcoin 40K, Bitcoin 59K. It moves quick in a bubble. Are we in a bubble right now? No, this is a sustainable channel. We're not even close to walking towards what would be considered an elevated area on Bitcoin. Well, thank goodness that we have an opportunity, a way to go ahead and engage that. Now, I was talking about bubbles, and I was talking about 2019 and 18. And the last time that we saw during the dot-com bubble, right, was the last time we saw the amount of consecutive days Nasdaq was above its 20-day moving average. But if you look, it's not the dot-com bubble. It's right over here in early 1998. 1998. Why does Jordan keep pointing out 1998 to me? Look over here. You can see this is exactly where we are in 1998. You're telling me the last time that the Nasdaq had 63 consecutive days above its 20-day moving average was back in 1998, this deviation right here? And I'm like, yep, right over here. So you're saying that the last time that the Nasdaq had 20%, I mean, S&P 500, Nasdaq had even more, 20% back-to-back gains was in 1998? Yep. What happened over the next 2 years? Well, yeah, it was just getting started. It was literally just getting started, and the majority of the games came at the end of the bubble, which always happens. And when you're talking at the end of the bubble, well, look over here at the end of the bubble. Look over here at the end of what was the bubble. I had no idea in real time. I thought we were going higher. I thought we were going back towards minimum 180,000. Thank God for TA. De-risk down 53,140. Second de-risk 35,000. Third de-risk 27,000. Bull market breakout 17,250. You live and you learn. You try to get better each and every day. That's what we're here for, to work together, to learn, to conquer the markets. Jumping back, looking over and talking about bubbles, and we're talking about euphoria. And I'm saying to you, are the markets euphoric right now? Last time we were in a similar situation was 1998. We continued here. The highest deviation we have over here, 1999. Obviously, the party was on, ending in March of 2020. Is the market euphoric right now? Barclays saying it is. Barclays has its euphoric meter at the highest point of this year. Market's at all-time high right now. Okay, good time that, people might be a little, but what is this chart's only going back 10 years, which is okay. But I would like to see this chart go back significantly further. By the way, we were very euphoric in January 2021, but the markets didn't peak for 11 months later. 11 months later. And I would be interested to see what this looked like in 1998. Do you think in 1998, as you were looking at the markets recovering off a 20% drawdown and trading at the high, all-time high, that people were euphoric? I imagine so. I believe so, and I believe it's a similar situation, and more so, I believe, and I could highlight it over here because Lynn does a good job articulating, and Lynn is very early on this as well, and she's talking about, right now, is this time different? Well, it depends how you look at it. If you're looking at it in the lens of what's happened over the last 60 years, I said 60. I'm trying to go do math. Maybe, sorry, I should have said 45 years. If you're looking at the lens of what happened in the last 45 years, likely it's different. We're now entering a period of fiscal dominance. If you're looking at it in the lens of what's happened in the past, no, it's probably a lot more of the same of what occurred in this area over here. The last time that we looked at what, and we talk about, the debt to GDP. And then you see over here, Mahler is like, listen, they're going to go ahead and they're going to do their best to grow their way out of it. They're being very clear about that. And what you're going to see is Bitcoin and gold, they're going to be the beneficiaries out of this. And you're going to see, are we coming to an end? 4-year cycle, that states that we're coming to the end by the end of the year. Wait, is that recency bias? Or are you taking into account the full picture here? The macro, Bitcoin, are you looking at adoption? Are you looking at what we are, where we've come from? Let's go ahead and play a little head snack here, and then we'll go further.
Markets, analyzing the charts, hitting projected targets within the margin. Find the flow, sip the matcha, and wait for the waves to come in with lobsters. The kind-hearted Jordan Fosters, working smarter, not harder to move the markers. On his way to conquer, trading and investing, drinking the coffee while reflecting on the blessing. The markets are not crashing, the prices might be slashing just to pretend they're in fashion. Hit the like button, comments, and smash it. Boom, boom, Jordan in the room, grab the bull by the horns and to the moon. Flow from the plateau, make the play. Boom, boom, it's a taco day.
Cabby, there are lots of thoughts about potentially what's happening over here. Let's take a brief look at MicroStrategy and then continue on. So while we're looking at MicroStrategy, might as well look at our current open equity positions. MicroStrategy is holding an open long here, 3% into profit. IBIT holding an 8.7%. Their entries were on the same day, or right around the same day. TQQQ continues to hold 33% into unreal. This is traded off the daily time frame. It makes things super easy. We also have the 1 hour on stocks as well. You can see that right now, NVIDIA is in an open long on the 1 hour, but on the daily holding a position here, 21% into profit. And then FANG is back into profit coming off of yesterday's earnings. And Google, right? So Cabby, sorry, not Cabby, Michael, Google had good earnings. It showed increased search revenue, increased YouTube revenue, and a lot of the concerns from its previous earnings were kind of alleviated. Now, and there's a lot of people who are really, really bullish on Google long term, and believe that not only do they have that dominance on search, that through Gemini they're going to be able to actually continue to capture a large portion of their. I don't know. Obviously, there's competition out there now, and let's see what Meta could do. Again, it's all variable. It's why we show up every day and we put the chart in. X, FOMC expectations. I mean, Powell specifically has not commented on how many cuts he expects into the end of the year. He's only said that if it weren't for the uncertainty of the tariffs, he would already be cutting. But FOMC projections, which were just released last month, they suggest that, I mean, along the market is pricing this in for a good reason. This is right now the highest probability of what's going to happen. And again, I guess the next major point that we had is the end of August when we get the Jackson Hole Symposium. Maybe we're given a crumb at that point in time, but it doesn't look like to me that we're seeing any type of resolution by August 1st. I think there's going to be a lot more uncertainty. Market right now is climbing that wall of uncertainty. Everyone, circle short. Let's take a look at it. Let's make sure we get into it. Let me come over here. Since Dog Nation, you were early on circle. Let me start over. So this is easy. We'll start with the easy first. What's easy? And that looks like massive sign of a continuation up. And could you be looking at rightfully so? I mean, this is hard, right? This is where you draw the line. You had the breakdown over here. That breakdown was then faded. Do you move the line like this? And are you looking at that current? That's what you're looking at, that current breakdown. Or should it be like this, which it should be? You see the difference of what I just did here? Like, this is the trend line in place. You can see the touch here. You broke down. A lot of people then go like this, which, I mean, it's good. It's okay. But this is actually what's happening. Like just the one touch over here, and you can see the 3 touches into it. Breakdown, retest, resuming down. Like, yes, you should be short here. And then where does this get faded? Where is the place where you got to be looking for an uptrend to resume? And so again, a lot of people would do this initially. And then my eyes then went like this. I don't think that's bad either. But the correct thing to do, I believe, is this. Now I lost it. And then let me confirm that and see. And I can't do that. But I'm going with my instinct. That's my instinct. And that's when I would look for, right now, rightfully so, short. And this is where you're managing risk around. That's your stop. Boom, boom. That's a hard question. So one thing that there's a difference, right, between Circle and Tether, and maybe the reason that Circle's under immediate pressure is, first of all, IPO shot the moon. Was there further profit taking? I mean, the IPO itself was a liquidity event, and then a lot of I'm sure but Tether is now looking to go, from what I saw from afar this week. Tether's looking to go domestic into the U.S. And if it does that, like, it becomes the dominant stable coin, right? It already is. Circle has massive market share as well. And if Tether's kind of pushed out, then that bodes well for Circle. But Tether looks like it's trying to, and again, who's it partner with? Well, we looked at Jack, 21 Tether, but more importantly, Cantor Fitzgerald, the company of the Commerce Secretary. So there's a lot of inside buddy going on over there. And if Tether gets into the U.S. market, Tether is going to maintain its dominance and be entrenched, and then there you go. And Tether's business model is a lot different than Circle's, right? They're both but like So it's hard. I can't value it. I'm not going to value. I could follow the TA and know when to be on the right side. And look at, I mean, a couple of things. You could have the down over here. Is that more fairly valued? Or I just reminded of what happened on coin. So I remember everyone was extremely bullish on coin's IPO, and that's a very different looking chart. So Circle on its IPO extending outwards, Tether fading down badly. So I mean coin, and it's just recovering now today, right? Just recovered to its pre-IPO valuation, and then I don't think this is right. I think this is late, but look at that ace breakout retest of the structure. It's all on tact. When I say that's late, I mean, this is aggressive. You're stopped out here. You take this trade, you're stopped out. It's why I draw my angle like that. Look at that. Beautiful. Stopped out here. You could one of two things. Do you do this? I guess this is the outermost one stopped out. That looks good and clean to me. And then that's obviously the earliest opportunity. It's low. It's high risk. But look at that, the greatest potential. And then this is what I would do though. I would be from this point to that point, and it's a little later of an entry, but I think it's the correct one. All right, everyone. God bless you. Have a beautiful day, everyone. God bless you, and I'll see you all back on the inside. I hope you like the new face, Have a beautiful day, everyone. God bless you.